In Utah, custody isn't about what you think it is. Usually it's about stability, not who is the quote-unquote better parent. So they're going to look at things like where the kids go to school, their friends, their best interest, really. Things like their daily routine, who handles the doctor's visits, who handles, bedtime stories and that kind of thing, who's been around more. A major factor is co-parenting ability. Who is most able and willing to speak with and include the other parent in the big decisions about a kid? Because some parents just don't do that very well. They don't want the other party involved. That's going to hurt you in a custody determination. Work schedules and availability. Someone that works graveyards, as an example, is going to have a hard time having overnights with the kids. They're not there. Likewise, if you've got somebody that works, 6 to 6 at 5-6 days a week, them having custody is going to be hard because what are the kids doing after school? If the other parent's available, that's what's going to happen. There are 18 factors in the Utah Code that talk about custody. And there's a whole bunch of them that deal with the compatibility and those sorts of things. The safety of the kids, past conduct. If one person has domestic violence and the other doesn't, the other party's got a leg up on that factor. Like I say, there's 18 of them. But really it comes down to the core is what's in the best interest of the kids. What parent is going to foster a relationship with the other parent? What parent is going to sacrifice their time and their life really to make sure that the kid is taken care of? Where is there religious compatibility between the child, if it's an older child, and the parent? If a kid is an example on a high school, extracurricular team, sport, drama, dance, something like that, and one parent has moved away and it's a distance to get from one school to the one that stays where that kid has a life and their life is stable is more likely to get custody. So there's a ton of factors that go into custody, and usually we solve these things at mediation. I've litigated this a whole bunch. I have a great idea of what most judges are going to do with it. They do favor stability, the least interruption in the kids' lives. But when it comes right down to it, one of the biggest factors is the parent that's most willing to let the other parent be involved. Now, having said that, if there's been abuse, violence, you might not have to let the other parent have a lot of involvement because they're clearly not healthy for the kid. But custody really comes down to the best interest, and right now, most custody arrangements are either a 65-35 or a 50-50. The reason is lately the child psychologists that we rely on, that the legislature relies on as experts for them to formulate our laws and rules, have said that kids do better when they have a good, healthy relationship with both of their parents. So if you have a custody case and you need some help with that custody case, don't do it alone. I've got several videos on my channel about why you don't want to do these things alone, because they are complex. And there are, like I said, 18 factors. And I find myself to this day, even 26 years after starting to do this, pulling out those custody factor codes and rules to make sure and help my client present their case in a way that makes them look good to the court and according to those factors. So if you'd like some help with that, get in touch with us. GreaterZionLaw.com is our website. Go there. You can schedule an appointment, I think, right on the website, or get a hold of my staff. They'd be glad to get you in for a consultation.